Hi, Opus learners. We are here for the extra readings, pondering upon the transit that is currently aspecting us as a planetary species. Mars currently entered Cancer not too long ago. It was just a couple days ago. And just like throughout my ponderings, I've related information back to that and just received information from consciousness about what it means. Um, and I'm going to let the card medium do the talking. Currently, I'm creating this frequency and timeline to be reciprocative to us as a dwelling, intermittent social context as a humanity society functional. Like very 5D, but introducing us into the conversation as someone who is not of a secret society or functionality that is introduced by governmental factors or so associations to investment and wealth. I try to keep my positions and opinions as public as possible so that we can exercise our free speech as particular bodies of modal. So that's what I'm doing for this, especially for the Cancer Mars transit. Mars is not dormant, but it's ruled by Scorpio, and that is where it functions at its best to the society. But Cancer has to introduce like limitations that Mars gets to exercise because it's like they need to be able to sort of freeze frame the idea or conversation and put it into contextual terms where it's like you have time to complete a task or prepare for a conversation with another person that is relevant to the opinionated function of your diligence. You know, you want to make sure that you're not someone who jumps the call and has a fishtail to where it like is important for you to exercise your fight or flight when you could have been exercising your practices fulfillingly. Okay, so let me see Mars. Yes, Mars just at 1 degree comparatively to our earthly rotation right now. It's currently facing the southwest. Southeast. Because it's on the side where the sun rises. All right. Now I'm gonna lay my chart out, or my cards. Ooh, we have the Hanged Man, something that we were just alluding to. I'm just gonna pull a card for Pluto because it's aspecting numerologically. Sorry, it has the same degree of function and modal in the current astro chart. So I pulled a card to just get Pluto's relevance into the conversation because all the other planets, I'm going to pull one for Saturn too because it's at 2 degrees. In Pisces, Pluto's in Aquarius, Saturn in Pisces, Mars in Cancer. All of these none of them are, whoa, this is a trine. Sorry. With I had just been paying attention to Mars. I had forgotten about the larger planets that take time to orbit. Um, so this one is just like me getting familiar with the fact that these planets have been there for a while, and Mars is having a conversation with Saturn, but Pluto is not. Like this card is set to the side because it's not like a frequential like position of disdain or anything. Like it's to be left alone, put aside. But if it rises to the conversation where it needs to be brought to the function, I will address like what Pluto admittedly represents as a contributing intermediate contrast to what Aquarius represents. But we are, as a global society, part of this conversation. It's not exclusive or intermittent with a particular functionale. Like, we're meant to have these things given to us as independent people who can then practice their free speech. And what? Why is someone talking over me? This is ridiculous. You make your own video, okay? This is my channel. I gotta curse this spirit out of myself. It even lives there. So it's ridiculous. So, yeah, someone doesn't like the fact that I contribute to all the societies that this world is a part of. Okay, so this relating to Mars in Cancer, we get to see and remember the fact that the Chariot is the first card that came out. Now, with this resounding remembrance of the fact that to be tongue-tied to the fact that this looks like a snitch from Quidditch, to be tongue-tied with the fact that that organization and functionale of a magician, the wizard, currently we are tongue-tied amidst as a society in America where we can't partake in the fact, but it's like contraband almost. Like in our relevant society, we've got to turn around with the fact that like with Cancer Mars, pressing on with the fact that we are not a dualist society that contributes to the fact that we have a functional court that contributes all evidence that is necessary to the portrayal of the functionale in America. It is no longer a dualist society where you go out and have like someone make with the fact that they are perceived notion is that I am fighting for my honor. It's no longer the case that we do that here in the society. In not in this society, but in American society, where that used to be common tongue, commonplace. If you want to go ancestral work throughout this process, like we had like stuff like in the Renaissance where it was trial by combat, and it was just very relevant to the fact that it's like we even brought animals into the fight. Like, I don't understand this functional part of our society where it's like you commit to the fact that like it's to the death kind of thing. But like America has more or less like elevated to the fact that it's like demo it's a demo as a democratic republic, to you can even assimilate this to the fact that it's like governmental bodies of the republic are not responsible for the daily well-beings and aspects and choices of their constituents. It won't go farther than the fact that it's like we need to be able to have the conversation even after the violence has already taken place and attribute justly to an outcome that is retributive. So we have the chariot here. I've given you all of this information to get to the fact that somehow our retribution has formed and coalesced into a court, of function. But that's not how. Wow. I have to. Contributing to the fact that like I'm talking globally here and I'm only talking about one person in the room. I'm sorry, I don't want to continue with the fact that it's like I want to out um uh uh like ostracize somebody. Not, it's not the word, but like commit to making someone an outcast by the functionality of the where our history has brought us. The chariot brought us here. Mars in Cancer. Mars as a society, like people who knew of that justice um community still lives in the subconscious of our ancestral work and some memory that we use to ferment things into the society. But we are still like, um so Mars like is an attributive memory to what we can access as a functional modal, um of trying to remember the difference between right or wrong and what's just. It offers that to us. Um, because of the choices of our forgotten, um, peers, essentially. Now, with the future, the strength, Mars showing us in reverse. Um, so, our discontent. Oh, this is a rose or a flower. This is like Beauty and the Beast. It's contained, but it's not supposed to be like, it's already protesting the fact that this is just supposed to be a flower that's encased. Um, I I don't want to go on with the fact that like with the future, what we've talked about is now in the past. We have the Hangman in reverse, which means there are some people who still want to continue on with the fact that there is a trial by combat that could be relevant or marketable to them. But it's not like a thing that the court would recognize as like consensual. Um, we got to find out like what these key factors are here in this limited community. Um, Now, the strength, it looks like Mars wants to keep this rose to themselves, but as a object that is inanimate and has to yeah, when I talk about the immortality of matter and how it can exist even without us in its sight, um there are minds at key positionings where it gets to govern itself even after, even if like our society continues to not coexist, like, and it will have that memory And when we have our judgment day again, where we have another big bang and we are with our peers again, like there might even be a stronger planet working against us to enlighten us to things that happen in this life that it did not forget. Um, so that's very like influential with the fact that like they have their own strength, they have their own memory, they have their own enlightenment, and we get to tap into that as conscious beings, even in realms that are not our own, because it's just a just frequency of the fact that it's like they coexist with what our universe has created a signature for. Like all universes are different, but some of them are similar, more similar to each other than not. So we get to exist with those that are similar to us and those that we stumble upon. But yeah, that's why courtesy is important. Okay, so um for time, like I see the talismans, two of talismans here. Um, all right. So now that we've talked about that specifically, um, there might be resource in part in our corner of the multiverse that have the ire of continued partners of the past. I don't have the other cards. I have the Six of Cups here amidst the Nine of Keys. So I'm seeing the fact that it's like these resources and the influential in the influence of mind that the multiverse calls us toward amongst that um is just retaining the patent and copyright information upon which that our universe, it's like we've created stock with these people, but they are unfamiliar to us. We need to let go of the fact that we need to remember who these entities are. Our multiverse, it might be 14 billion years, uh, basically 14 billion years old, but our societies like live for trillions of years. Like it doesn't even go on that long. Like the black hole lives for many lifelong attributed um, existence compared to what we live in. Like it's the um um it's just the fact that it's like all the many lifetimes that our 13.9 billion year old universe can remember. They have much more time on their hands than we have to even find that resource. They already know where it is, probably. Um, and it's just like a phone call home kind of thing. If this is where like a reality um, game, the Six of Cups, talking about just the fact that there is a understood balance of the giving and receiving upon that. It's just accepted that you cannot create nor destroy energy or matter. It's communicated like theft is understood. You understand when something has had thought about, like you understand when something had taken something from you, and uh it's just like you then get caught up in like parrying the like you're fencing or something, like you're trying to parry the sword and try and counteract, contradict the other fighter, but they already understand, maybe even to the T, what has been robbed of them. So you can't see beyond like the fact that it's like, this is, even though it's the Six of Cups, like, and it's about reciprocity, this signature is about the fact that like you are messing with patented information that has not been given consensually to you. um and so the King of Elixirs, um King of Elixirs is for our Saturn, to close the reading. um King of Elixirs, um as far as what it wants Mars to know, nest, nest. Um, I got the word nest. Um, Let me think. Because Mars was pretty specific about the fact that it's like wanting to impede on the fact that like it gets to remain relevant as an independent body. Um, and Saturn is, the way Saturn works is it's more or less the one that keeps the receipts, because it's about like social organization. The way that our enlightenment has brought us to, as far as this solar system is concerned, um Mars, Venus, Earth, and Mercury are our inner planets, and we get to have our own like individual personality and privacy that Saturn has promised to keep record for us in the enlightenment process. Because it's like, if you need to be able to step aside, blow off steam, make a statement to like the fact that you aren't being um taken care of or properly witnessed, um it's like Saturn is the key deliverer to the fact that like karma does return. um it does, the pendulum always swings back. It does not, it the like the weighted grandfather clock, like time does make its associations and judgments amidst itself. And for Mars, like for the Mars society, um keep up with the fact that it's like you get to continue to look upon the horizon and make do with the fact that like it doesn't have to be your judgment that's taken into consideration. You're allowed to make witness to what is seen amidst, like in the light that's in front of you. um and keep that memory when you turn around. Like it's not like a thing where you don't get to like um get a memory block because it was owned by somebody else in that party. Like it's very that, like, I don't know, the possession of like a picturesque world, like to the fact where it keeps your memory when you've observed it, like as part of that modal, and what Mars is communicating to us as a body that we have grown into existence with. two of talismans comes through again. We as that specifically, we grew into existence with that as our neighbor. So it's and we remember. I mean, like, yeah, we do. We can see it in the sky, but like, when did we observe it? How and what part of our consciousness is not communicating with it specifically for a reason? Um, but okay, yeah. I'm gonna keep the reading short here. This is pretty much all it is. Talking about freedom of attainment, freedom of witness, um, and the ability to keep speech to yourself. I mean, I this is like a pre-speech conversation. Like, so I hope all of you have like a wonderful life, wonderful night. Um, it is The Rock, and I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Okay, bye.